Just wanted to provide an overview of my Robinhood portfolio since I haven't done it in a while. Currently at $703,778. Past year up 54%, so very high growth this past year. Cash position of $40,000 at a yield of 5% since I have Robinhood Gold. I also have another $95,000 in a high yield savings account at a yield of 4.25%. Scrolling down a bit, you can see overall lifetime interest paid, $218. Ethereum, I have one Ethereum and I have more in my GDAX account. Currently, this makes up 0.51% portfolio or $3,415. I'm up 435%. So with any altcoins and Bitcoin, I don't plan to buy any more cryptocurrency. I don't want to add any more to portfolio just because it's a very high risk investment. I don't even consider it an investment just because it doesn't retain value well. I'd rather invest in assets that generate revenue and are profitable, like businesses or real estate. My largest stock position is Nvidia. This makes up 31% portfolio or $208,000. I'm up 2,500%. Nvidia has gotten a lot of traction the past couple months, and it's a leader in the GPU and data center space, and see that in the foreseeable future. So I plan to continue holding Nvidia long term. Next is Apple, which they manufacture iPhone, MacBook, wearables like Apple Watch and AirPods. They are growing in their services business like iCloud, Apple Music, Apple TV. This makes up 7% portfolio or $47,000. I'm up 423% on this position. Pretty solid dividend growth, and I see a lot of potential with the iOS 18 and Apple Intelligence continue to create a wider moat. Next is Vanguard Growth ETF. This tracks a lot of the growth stocks in the US. This makes up 6.55% portfolio of $43,000. I'm up 27% on this position. Next is Vanguard S&P 500 ETF. This tracks 500 of the largest US companies. This makes up 5.85% portfolio or $38,000, up almost 44% on this position. I do plan to continue buying more of this ETF just because I think my portfolio in Robinhood is very concentrated in tech stocks, and I want to get more exposure to other sectors. So ETFs are a good way to diversify. Next is Amazon, which is an e-commerce business, and their Amazon Web Service cloud computing business is also growing. This makes up 5.73% portfolio or $38,000. I'm up 74% on this position. Next is Microsoft, which is in the enterprise solution space, like Microsoft Cloud Azure and Microsoft Office, among other services. This makes up 5.47% portfolio or $36,000, up 324% on this position. Another solid dividend growth stock. Next is Meta Platforms, which is parent company of Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Oculus, a lot of communication services. They're paying out a dividend as well on June 26. This makes up 4.74% portfolio or $31,000, up 170% on this position. Next is Vanguard Information Technology ETF. Makes up 4.17% portfolio or $27,000, up 331% on this position. Next is Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. This is paying a dividend on June 11th or July 11th. Makes up 3.32% portfolio or $22,000. I'm up 117% on this position. Next is Visa, which is a payment processing company. Makes up 2.76% portfolio or $18,000, up 127% on this position. Next is Mercado Libre, which is e-commerce in Latin America. And they also have electronic payments. This makes up 2.58% portfolio or $17,000. 48% on this position. Next is Alphabet Class A shares, which has voting rights. This makes up 2.45% portfolio or $16,000. Up 206% on this position. A lot of the revenue is from online advertising, and I do continue to see them growing as they incorporate artificial intelligence into their stack of services. Alphabet Class C shares does not have voting rights. Makes up 2% portfolio or $13,600. Up 184% on this position. Costco, which is in retail warehouse space, this makes up 2% portfolio or $13,000. Up 225% on this position. Next is CrowdStrike Holdings, which is a cybersecurity company. Makes up 1.97% portfolio or $13,000. Up 172% on this position. Next is United Health, which is a healthcare company, insurance payer. They're paying out a dividend on June 25th, and this makes up 1.39% portfolio or $9,200. Up 180% on this position. Johnson & Johnson, another healthcare company. They're in consumer health, medical devices, pharmaceuticals. This is 1.27% portfolio or $8,400. Up 12% on this position. So Johnson & Johnson doesn't really doesn't have a big growth in capital appreciation, but they do pay a solid dividend yield. Next is Home Depot, which is in the home improvement space. Makes up 1.23% portfolio or $8,190. Up 93% on this position. Next is Berkshire Hathaway. This makes up 1.17% portfolio or $7,700. Up 115% on this position. This is owned by Warren Buffett, and they own a lot of companies entirely or partially. One of the largest positions is Apple. Next is Shopify, which is in the e-commerce space, which makes up 1.14% portfolio or $7,500. I'm down 23% on this position, but do see there's some potential upside once the economy is better. McDonald's, which is makes up 1.13% portfolio or $7,500, up 55% on this position. McDonald's is a fast food chain, and they're pretty solid with their dividend yield. Recently, they rolled out automated kiosks that can take your order, but they stopped that after getting negative reviews. Palo Alto Networks is a cybersecurity company. Makes up 0.92% portfolio or $6,100. I'm up 32% on this position. Alibaba, which is e-commerce company in China. They are paying out dividend on July 12th. Makes up 0.81% portfolio or $5,300. Down 56% on this position. So with a lot of Chinese stocks, they're very risky given the geopolitical environment. And even though if their financials seem okay on the surface, but given the risk politically, I think I don't plan to add any more to my portfolio, but I'll just continue holding long term. Fortinet, which is another cybersecurity company, makes up 0.65% of my portfolio or $4,200, down 13% on this position. Just another cybersecurity play. I do have CrowdStrike and Palo Alto Networks, but I think it's good to get diversified exposure into cybersecurity play. PayPal, which is a payment processing company. They own PayPal and Venmo. This makes up 0.54% portfolio or $3,600, down 46% on this position. Next is AT&T, which is a communication service. Makes up 0.5% portfolio or $3,300, down 47% on this position. Block or Square. This makes up 0.47% portfolio or $3,100, down 61% on this position. Twilio, another communication service, makes up 0.1% portfolio or $644, down 77% on this position. Last but not least is Baozun, which is a Shopify of China, makes up 0.04% portfolio or $281. This is down 93%. So last couple positions were down, but overall I am up with an all-time of 187%, up almost $460,000 holding since 2015. So I plan to continue holding my positions long-term and gradually adding to my portfolio, deploying into the market so I get diversified exposure. And I am a long-term investor, so I don't do day trades. I don't do options. I have looked into it, but don't see it being worth it given the risk associated. So I just plan to continue buying, holding long-term, and make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.